Singapore often surprises first-time visitors. It's a city where towering glass buildings stand beside rain trees older than the nation itself, where the air smells faintly of frangipani, and the streets stay remarkably clean without feeling sterile. This isn't a place that rushes you. If you let it, Singapore unfolds at a pace that feels both efficient and surprisingly calm. Over the next few minutes, we'll wander through gardens, quiet neighborhoods, and small rituals that make this island feel less like a crowded metropolis and more like a carefully tended sanctuary. Let's begin where the green meets the sky. The super tree grove at Gardens by the Bay feels like stepping into a dream someone forgot to wake from. These vertical gardens rise 50 meters high, their steel frames wrapped in living ferns and vines. Visit in the early morning, just after opening around 9, and you'll find the pathways nearly empty. The air is cool. Birds call softly from the canopy. At night, the trees glow in gentle waves of blue and violet, accompanied by ambient music. Nothing jarring, just a soft pulse that matches your breathing. Entry to the outdoor gardens is free. The cooled conservatories have a fee, but the exterior alone offers more than enough wonder. Let's step into one of those glass domes now. Inside the cloud forest, a 35-meter waterfall tumbles down a mountain draped in moss and orchids. The temperature drops to a comfortable 23 degrees Celsius. You walk upward along spiraling pathways, passing carnivorous plants and begonias the size of dinner plates. There's no rush here. Benches appear at every turn, inviting you to sit and listen to the water. The mist clings to your skin without soaking you. It's the kind of place where your shoulders drop without you noticing. If you visit on a weekday morning, you might share the space with only a handful of other wanderers. The conservatory closes by 7 in the evening, giving you all day to lose track of time. Now, let's leave the gardens and find a neighborhood that moves even slower. Tiong Bahru is Singapore's oldest public housing estate, built in the 1930s with Art Deco curves and spiral staircases. In the morning, the neighborhood hums quietly. Elderly residents practice Tai Chi in the courtyards. Small cafes serve kaya toast and soft-boiled eggs. Simple, comforting, under $3. The wet market opens early, around 6, and by 9 it's winding down, leaving the streets calm again. Walk slowly here. Notice the potted plants on every balcony, the faded pastel paint, the way sunlight filters through narrow alleyways. There are a few independent bookstores and quiet bakeries, but nothing feels curated for tourists. It's just a neighborhood living its life, and you're welcome to walk alongside it. Let's shift now to a green corridor where the city disappears. The Southern Ridges is a 9-kilometer elevated walkway connecting several parks and hilltops. You don't need to walk the entire route. Even a 1-hour stretch, say from Kent Ridge to Henderson Waves, offers forest canopy, bird calls, and views that feel stolen from a postcard. The path is paved and gentle, suitable for all fitness levels. Go in the late afternoon when the heat softens. You'll pass through secondary rainforest where the air tastes green and humid. The Henderson Waves Bridge curves like a wooden spine above the treetops, and it's especially lovely at dusk when warm lights begin to glow. Benches appear every few hundred meters. This isn't a race. It's a slow unfurling of green, with the city visible only in glimpses. Speaking of glimpses, let's talk about a view that requires almost no effort. Fort Canning Hill sits right in the city center, yet it feels like a secret. Stone steps lead upward through rain trees and ferns, past old British colonial buildings and a small spice garden where cinnamon and clove grow quietly. At the top, you'll find a lawn where locals nap under the shade, and a lighthouse that no longer guides ships, but still watches over the skyline. The hill has history, ancient kingdoms, colonial forts, wartime bunkers, but you don't need to know any of it to enjoy the stillness. It's free to enter, open all day, and best visited in the early morning or late afternoon when the light slants softly through the leaves. Let's descend now and find something entirely different. A street where food and culture simmer together. Chinatown can feel overwhelming near the main tourist strips, but turn down any side street and the tempo changes. Temple incense drifts from doorways. Elderly aunties fold paper offerings in shop fronts. Small tea houses serve oolong and jasmine with no menu, just a nod and a pour. Visit the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple early in the morning, around 7, when the chanting begins and the main hall is almost empty. The rooftop garden above, rarely crowded, offers bonsai trees, lotus ponds, and a surprising quiet. If you're hungry, try a simple plate of Hainanese chicken rice at a kopitiam, a local coffee shop. Order with a smile, sit at a shared table, and eat slowly. The flavors are gentle but complete. Now let's find a place where nature and architecture blur completely. Changi Beach sits on the far eastern edge of Singapore, away from the central buzz. Arrive before dawn, and you'll watch the sunrise over the Strait of Johor, painting the sky in soft pinks and golds. The beach is quiet. Locals jog, families cycle past, and the occasional cargo ship drifts on the horizon. The sand is coarse, the water calm, but not swimmable in the typical sense. This isn't a postcard-perfect resort beach. It's a place for thinking, for walking barefoot, for watching the light change. There are a few cafes nearby that open early, serving kopi and kaya toast. Bring a light jacket. The morning breeze can be cool. Stay as long as you need. The city can wait. Let's return now to the heart of the island, to a ritual that happens every evening. Marina Bay at night is famous, yes, but it's also surprisingly peaceful if you know when to go. Skip the weekend crowds. Visit on a Tuesday or Wednesday evening after 8, when the light show has finished and the promenade empties. The water reflects the skyline in soft ripples. The Art Science Museum glows like a lotus. You can walk the entire loop, about 3 kilometers, at a gentle pace, stopping whenever a view catches you. There are benches facing the water, and the breeze carries the faint scent of the sea. If you want to sit somewhere elevated, the Esplanade outdoor terraces are free and offer sweeping views without the price of a rooftop bar. This is Singapore at its most cinematic, and you don't need a ticket to see it. Let's slow down even further now. A kopitiam is more than a coffee shop. It's a social anchor, a breakfast ritual, a place where generations overlap. Order kopi, thick, sweet coffee brewed through a sock filter, and a set of kaya toast with soft-boiled eggs. Crack the eggs into a bowl, add a dash of soy sauce and white pepper, and dip your toast. It's simple, but it's everything. Kopitiams open early, around 6:30, and the rhythm is unhurried. Newspapers rustle, aunties chat in Hokkien, ceiling fans turn slowly overhead. You're not rushed to leave. In fact, lingering is encouraged. This is where you feel the pulse of everyday Singapore, quieter and kinder than any guidebook might suggest. Let's turn now to a ritual of a different kind. The Singapore Botanic Gardens is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but it never feels precious or untouchable. It's a living, breathing space where families picnic, joggers loop past lakes, and swans drift lazily under the shade of rain trees. The National Orchid Garden inside requires a small fee, but the rest of the gardens, over 80 hectares, is completely free. Visit mid-afternoon when the heat is softest under the canopy. Walk without a map. Let the paths choose for you. You'll find hidden benches, a small ginger garden, a symphony lake where weekend concerts sometimes play. Bring a book or bring nothing. The gardens don't ask anything of you except presence. Let's step into one more neighborhood, quieter still. Kampong Glam is known for its colorful streets and Arab Quarter energy, but step into the Sultan Mosque courtyard at a quiet hour, and the mood shifts entirely. The golden domes glow softly in the afternoon light. Locals sit on steps, speaking in low voices. The nearby Malay Heritage Center is calm and thoughtful, rarely crowded. Wander the side streets, Busora, Haji Lane, early in the morning before the cafes fill, and you'll see murals, potted plants, and shop fronts painted in mint and blush. There's no pressure to buy or pose. It's simply a neighborhood that invites you to pause, to notice details, to feel the layering of cultures without fanfare. Let's close now with a reflection. Singapore is often described as efficient, modern, sometimes even sterile. But if you slow down, if you wake early or wander late, if you choose the green corridors over the shopping malls, you'll find something softer. A city that breathes, that leaves space for stillness, that trusts you to find your own rhythm. You don't need to see everything. You don't need to optimize. Sometimes, the most memorable travel is simply sitting on a bench under a rain tree, watching the light change, feeling at ease. If this felt calming, you might enjoy our Calm Travel Guides playlist, where we explore other cities and islands at a gentle pace. Until then, take care and take your time.